Hello dear all. I just decided to record this video mostly for my clients that come to me regularly, especially with relationship issues with husband and wife, or looking for a partner, or currently in a state where they can't find a partner, or recovering from a previous relationship, etc., etc. So what I feel most of the time happens at our sessions, we jump into therapeutic kind of unfolding, and we discuss a lot of specific programs that specifically apply to your life, to your specific setup that you are currently in. But I feel a lot of time that there has to be a background of theory and deepening into understanding what's actually happening globally in that respect, in regards to just romantic relationship, family, husband, wife, man, woman, all those concepts. I feel it will broaden your understanding what is actually going on and what I'm doing with you during our private sessions, and why things come up the way they come up, and why I dissect or kind of separate and create clarity between certain ideas that are like jammed together. And I feel like this information would benefit most of my clients that see me regularly. So just let's start with the idea that there is a concept that we were created in the image of God. B'Tselem Elokim, in those that know Hebrew, it says that we were created in the image of God, and that specifically was stated exactly around the time where a man and woman were created, and how the man was created and how a woman was created, and all those ideas I discuss primarily in our Russian flows, our Russian recordings that I record for like each recordings maybe like 11 hours, 12 hours. It's like a setup of insights that we cover, but in English we don't have that much of that information. Maybe soon we will. And so there's a lot of insights how things were created, and there was a purpose, deep purpose for that. There was a man, Adam was created, and there's difference of opinion how a woman was created at the same time with him. His first wife, if we will like unpack it this way, she was not necessarily embodied, she was not physical person, but she was created at the same time with Adam, and she was mostly in his mind, she was mostly present in his thoughts. And then that, so to speak, did not work, and of course there is no such thing as God makes mistakes. It had to collapse, it had to fall apart in order to reconstruct, so to speak, a new system between a man and woman, and then a new woman was created out of Adam. And the purpose of that creation of that particular woman was, for that time, was that she was created from a man for a man. She on her own had not much purpose, and I know it might sound a little bit like not clear or not understood, but that's not the purpose of our talk. I'll unfold what exactly we're going to discuss today. So at that time, Chava, Eve, she was created for him, for his purpose. He had a purpose in life, he had a certain mission in life, and she needed to help him fulfill that mission. That was her mission. And things are changing, and changing drastically on a lot of levels. And I feel it personally as a practitioner. I feel how things are changing when people come with different questions, and intuitively I pick up different vibes, different ideas that, like, so to speak, are waiting for them. And I just want to describe to you why initially a couple were created, since we know as a soul we are all in the image of God. So really on a soul level we're all one. But then for a purpose of different games, different realizations, different maturity, different experiences, and there is a purpose. God separated himself into two, into a female and male, and at that point there were a lot of insights available for us as couple to pick up, and there was a lot of, so to speak, dynamics and contrasts and a lot of insights and a lot of contradiction that couple lived in and developed through that. So for instance, there were a lot of lessons packed into that particular setup where a man and a woman needed to learn, so to speak, different lessons. As such, like, I'm looking for a partner, I'm longing for a partner, I feel so sorry that my partner is not satisfied, or I feel uncomfortable and I want to make my partner comfortable, I want to be beautiful to my partner, I want to be handsome to my partner, I feel kind of incomplete without a partner. All those lessons, right? And then there is, of course, like among longing and missing and not having, there is a certain program waiting for a partner, kind of learning that lesson. Then once you're together, there's a lot of lessons there, adjusting to each other, learning each other, kind of sacrificing for each other. All that has different lessons, right? And on a level of a soul, there is no need for that lesson. There is no need to learn each other, to overcome contrast, overcome opposites, overcome kind of logic and emotions, differences, all that, right? Physiological differences, like whatever that encompasses, like a hormonal differences, what woman thinks at the particular day of the month, a man has no idea why she thinks that way, right? So all that, it's a specific plan that God created. So there are lessons, they're like certain areas in certain relationship packed with lessons, and each one of us want to go through those lessons. So I just want you to focus a little bit with me on a level that longing for a partner before you find a partner, or adjusting to a partner when you find a partner, or going through some difficult time with your husband or wife is another program. All those are different programs, and they are really made up programs. They are not really real. It's made up, made believe systems that they are so well made that we grow into it. We spend emotions there. We really give our resources there. We spend a lot of energy, life energy that we have, that we possess, we give into those games. But the minute you understand that they are all separate games, and I on some level chose that game in order to be part of that man-woman relationship game at large, and I want to play there, and I want to take some lessons or mature through it in being in a body. So really this is all made up. It's like a computer game. Like you open, there is no real I don't know what computer games, I never play computer games, but let's say there's Mario and there's Luigi, and you get like involved so much into that particular game, you kind of start feeling their feelings, you start going through the processes, etc. But on a level of a soul, this is all computer game. And I just want you to first reflect upon that, like really deepen into that, understand that this is all interesting games that were set in front of us, and we jump into them. And there are different levels of games. There's suffering, there's recovery from betrayal, there is committed to relationship, not committed, honoring relationship, not honoring, respecting, not respect. All those are different games. And some of us want to, so to speak, go through those games, suffer through relationship, suffer through losing a partner. Just recently dealt with someone who could not comprehend why her husband wanted a divorce, and felt like it was like a curse. She felt like it's not him, like he is like captured by demons or something, and but if we reclaim that I opened that game, I, so to speak, paid to be part of that game, paid membership, and I want, for some reason, on a very deep conscious level, I want to go through this particular set of emotions that, let's say, a divorced woman that had to go through divorce with her husband that wanted a divorce. She wanted to accumulate certain maturity, certain patience, certain pain, which is not present on a soul level. Soul does not feel pain. So soul is a very valuable, for the soul, pain is very valuable lesson. So certain longing, certain suffering, certain development, maturity, etc., right? So that's number one. But what's another level to this whole thing is that I discuss with you, and I bring up at our sessions with you, that why do we want to go into relationship? And also there's different explanations, and I just want to unpack a little bit of that. So there are different reasons why people want to go into man-woman relationship. Number one, we, as I said, are one, and we actually, in us, and Adam Harishon, the first man, before he was sent to earth, which you and I are currently present, there is, so to speak, like in between heaven and between the earth that we're in now, there is this realm where he was created. You and I were not created as he was. He was one human being that was different. He was created from God. So he identified his completeness, that he is a man and a woman at the same time. He has man and woman energy in him, and it's true, out of him a woman was created. So we are complete. But when we step into this planet, into this realm, which is a little bit more rough, a little bit more energetically, so to speak, dull, right? Over here, we identify as just a man or a woman. There's no other options. Of course, right now, there's all this interesting, innovative ideas that people have, but we're not gonna go into like a gay concept at all. This is an interesting topic to discuss. But normally, on this realm, we're either a man or a woman, and we have a memory that I am complete. We do remember, and we long for that memory. So that longing creates a passion to jump into the playground, so to speak, of man-woman relationship. So when a woman longs for a man, she really wants to connect, she really wants to be connected, she really wants to be part of a relationship, exchange, etc., she is really trying to come in touch with her inner part that on this realm she lost, with her inner man. And I bring up that concept whenever it comes up intuitively at our sessions, if you remember, those that you remember, that inner man that you have, but for the sake of certain games on this realm, it's disguised from us. We do not feel it, we do not have it. It's as if we were never a man. We don't know what it means, right? And then and it's basically the way it's set up. The only way you could project your inner man that you do have, but you are not able to, looking inside, you're not able to see it or to feel it. The only way for you to be in touch with it, if you're a woman, is to get into a relationship, and the man that is actually finally will be your man, your husband, your boyfriend, or your partner. He will project that inner man that you have, and the pleasure that you receive from that man is actually the deeper pleasure of you becoming complete with who you are. And similarly for a man, he has an inner woman that he is not in touch. He's kind of devastated. It's as if you remember you have a complete body, but then you came into the realm and you could only have access to one hand, one ear, one toe, and you remember you have a complete body. And that discomfort, that kind of constant searching, inner searching, is a search for a partner. Because over here you understand the only way you'll be able to actually deal and get in touch with that other part that you have is on your partner. So deeply, if you speak like that, if we could speak like that, whoever you meet that you end up marrying is going to hold the mirror for you of and project your partner, your inner man or a woman for you, and coming closer to it, seeing your kind of full potential, that creates initial excitement. That's what people say. I met my other half. I came to the completion. I became like a normal human being again. When I met her or when I met him, I finally got my senses back. I finally feel like I could do it all, like etc., etc. But really what it means, you finally reclaimed on a human level your completeness. And of course, that inner man or inner woman will hold for you all the deficiencies and all the imbalances that your inner man and inner woman has. So it's a very deep topic that I discuss a lot, and I think I should discuss even more, that people need to educate themselves and understand exactly what's going on in the relationship when they are dealing with the partners or marriage partners, etc., etc. So our inner man is collected, let's say it's for a woman, and the same applies for a man, for his inner woman. But we're gonna, for the sake of just example, we're gonna just focus on a woman that has an inner man, and he has, of course, levels, just like she as a woman has a lot of levels. She's a person, she's a woman, she's a sister, she's a mother, she's a professional, etc., etc. She has a certain nationality, she has a certain taste, she has a certain quality of life, she developed certain senses towards certain things, she is more creative, she is more logical. The same way your inner man has those levels, and we're just going to speak about how that inner man on a physical level kind of accumulates and builds up, right? So the inner man starts formation on a lot of different level. Practically and very simply, he firstly holds the energy of her dad that she created, not the facts that he had. Let's say dad was handsome and powerful, but he left her mom, or he was abusive to her mom. So the image she created of her dad, that he was a weak man and he was abusive, and right now she, so to speak, packs on an information level towards her inner man that the man, her inner man, is weak and he is unreliable and he is very disturbing and he's unfair. So she builds her own image, and of course there is other man that surrounds her. Let's say there was a leader that the people were, like her family was following, religious leader or spiritual leader. That image also imprints on her inner man. And also from her deep subconscious, let's say she has a certain patterns, and I picked this up as I was working with some clients. It, like, tuning in intuitively, comes up an image of a man, an inner man, that not necessarily resembles dad or brother or anyone in a family. It's a certain pattern that she holds to from maybe a previous reincarnation, maybe a past life, that did not did not complete its cycle, did not mature and conclude its version of like its potential. For instance, it could be in a previous life she either had a child that passed away early, or she was exposed to in a family very closely that, let's say, there was her mom or her grandmother had a child that passed away early, and that soul, so to speak, did not complete its mission, whatever potential it had. Let's say it was creative, it has potential to express or write I don't know, poetry, or draw some art, or sing beautiful songs, and it, so to speak, comes back into the same family, into the same tribe. And that pattern could land in one of us, on our inner man, so to speak. It's very like what I remember a few months ago, maybe, came up for one of my clients. She had like a very slim, very kind of gentle inner man, and her dad is like very active and very outgoing, very, so to speak, loud, energetically type of person. So it was not him. And this particular inner man was very gentle, kind of went through some suffering on a physical level, did not feel comfortable in the world, felt like it's different from this world, and it needed some always support and understanding and comforting. And she remembers, like, in her family there was an uncle as such, that he was drinking and he was always weak and he was not settled in life. He was never married, or he got married and got divorced, and was very kind of like suffering personality, never was interested in material expression, etc., etc. And she remembers how he used to, like, when I described her inner man, we started thinking it was not her dad, it was not any close relative, but she picked up energetically that uncle that used to come to their house and their dad and mom used to take care of him, and she kind of like took in that specific form, right? So it's important to know the inner man that we want to be in contact with. We want to balance, we want to mature, we want to upgrade, we want to develop. We could only get a hang of that particular system when we have a physical body, physical person that we are in contact with daily, and that physical person that we're in contact with daily will kind of hold that mirror for us, so we could deal and we could update and upgrade and heal that inner man. So honestly speaking, and more maturely speaking, when we come into relationship and we see our husband, let's say, is a competitive person, or our husband is a very aggressive person, or our husband is a very unfair person, really, by dealing with him, we have to know primarily that we are dealing with our inner man, because it's known a woman or a man could be completely different with a different partner, and it's known as a fact. And specifically for this particular person, that's what's mirroring. Specifically, I'm mirroring for my partner his inner woman, and he is right now maturing through her, completing through her, developing through her, because it's a certain energetic part of him that he was not in touch with, and now he's able to, through another human being, deal with his inner woman and deeply with his inner female energy. And just to fill you in a little bit further, I don't want to make this video too long, but just a little insight here. On a complete level, we both have female and male energy in us, right? But we are, as I said, we're not in touch with it that deeply. So a female energy in a man is being able to be flexible, ability to communicate, to have back and forth just generally in the world, ability to intuitively tune in, ability to listen deeply by just like keeping quiet, right? So all those energies are female energies in a healthy man. Man in a past, before our civilization developed, they were much more rough. They were less able to communicate. Men mostly used to fight, used to go to war, used to be very abrupt in their communication, very short in their communication. And now as civilization develops, you see men are able to be flowy, sensitive, able to compromise, able to be more flexible, able to tune in, able to listen, able to pause and like go within, able to do all those like flexible things that are really primarily woman's energy. And a man's energy is to conquer, to win, to show strengths, demonstrate strengths, to kind of overcome, to achieve, to bring, to change this world on the physical level, on like so to speak, on physicality, like build buildings, make iPhones, build bridges, create certain systems like rockets and airplanes. That is all man's zone, to expand and to develop anything and everything that's not alive, that is, as a fact, material and creates comfort on a material realm, etc. So a woman is able to develop that in her as well, and that's what women do right now. The last 100 to 100 years, they are more and more involved in, so to speak, man's job, right? And there are more women are in banks and more in architects and more are involved in all those energies that primarily belonged to men before. And a man becomes more intuitive, more able to be flexible, etc., right? So what happens is, as we mature, as we move in our civilization, we integrate energies. Man integrate more woman's energy, and it becomes his. He's no longer identified as just one type of energy. He could actually have opposite energies in him. Like he could be strong and flexible at the same time. He could be intuitive and logical at the same time. And a woman could do the same. She integrates her inner man. That means her inner man becomes in her more activated. She's more in touch with her male energy inside. Of course, primarily she is operating on a female energy, but she is more in touch. She's integrated. She actually, so to speak, took man's energy and she opened up in her. And right now she's able to function on both levels. Yeah, so that's why you have that like a strong woman potential there, and she's capable of living alone. And some women ask a question, maybe I don't need a man anymore, and blah 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 and all that stuff. So so it gets integrated both in man and woman. But on a deeper level, I just also want to say that that whole question that usually now comes, like if couple going through some struggle and challenges, and she asks or he asks, maybe I don't need to be married, maybe marriage is not for me, or after a very difficult divorce, people like take a break and they will think twice whether they want to go into relationship, or after they went through maybe a harsh divorce, observing harsh divorce in their parents' life, growing up, man and woman feel like maybe it's not for them, it's a little bit challenging. So I just want you to know that that is also part of the program. When a person says, no, marriage is not for me, I have some fear, some trauma there, it's much easier, much cheaper to stay away from it. So that itself is a program too. And if you look at it and you say, I chose to be like in that zone, that I want to stay away because it's difficult, because there's so much energy in like requires of me into that dynamic. That itself is a game as well. That is a program that a person is, so to speak, playing with similar minds, similar approach people that similarly think that way. They almost get engaged and then they back up. They almost fall in love and then they back up. They just get married and then they get divorced. Like they is, so to speak, like there is a deeper fear, and they play out certain elements, and they, so to speak, feed that particular program. When you understand what's going on, you as a human being, you have a soul potential, you have a real energy, you compose of dead energy, which is our body and our human and all this bunch of programs, and very real life energy, which is a soul. So by you checking in into certain programs, those programs want to, so to speak, stay alive, and they need your real cash to live off. So by you checking in into that one little program where everyone is playing out the same thing, such as, oh, relationship is not for me, it's too difficult, I don't think I ever will go in it anymore, I had enough, one marriage is enough, one boyfriend is enough, I'll try to be always in the mode of trying to get married, and here I am 55 and I'm never married, and I'm always afraid to commit, there is never a solid person, or people playing that other suffering games, such as I'm looking all over and I can't find. This is also a program. I just want you to know, the minute you understand and you hear that this is a program, there is some sort of like a shakiness going on. You're not cashing out, so to speak. You're not nourishing that program anymore as intensely as you used to. And then when you consciously understand the benefit of this particular play zone, only when you appreciate and you are grateful, you are able to check out from it and go into more gentle, more interesting and more insightful, more nurturing you as a soul programs. You understand? I hope this is clear to you. It's really deep and kind of very, very subtle points that I'm bringing up here. So just purely understand, without any emotions, without investing so much like pain and suffering and like a loss, and I don't understand why did I need to search for a wife for like, I don't know, 10 years and then find the wrong wife, why did I have to end up marrying someone who actually did not look like my dad but end up being exactly like my dad, and all the stuff, right? Or why am I always looking so honestly and I'm such a good person and I can never find the right person? Because you checked in into a certain game and you're feeding that game. You kind of say, oh, you need more members in order for that play to continue on this planet, on this realm of existence. I'll be a member, I'll pay in, I'll give in my energy. And that program is excited and, like it's like you are basically just gave that account $1 million because you as a soul decided to play there. So why am I bringing all this up? Because the dynamic between man and woman is crucially changing right now. If before it was interesting for souls to come down here and among other games like money, health, maturity, spirituality, religion, father, mother, kids, etc. There is a one realm where there is a man-woman romantic relationship. If that particular man-woman romantic relationship was before between their differences, they were only interested to overcome their differences, to learn to adapt to their differences, to learn to suffer through some collapse because of their differences. Right now, that is changing. New souls are coming. They're not interested to live anymore in the setup where they are fighting between each other and they're maturing through each other and they're developing through each other, etc., etc. Right now, and you will see it as I say it, maybe it's going to be a little bit shocking, but with that information you will see how it surrounds you, and you will see in your personal life And other people, they're no longer interested to like deal with jealousy and did he betray and did she betray, did she have a boyfriend on the side, did she take my money and run away, is she earning more than me, is he earning more than her, is she a good mom, better than me as a dad. Like those games are dying off. They're not there. Nobody wants to, so to speak, be a member of that particular playground, right? The new version, why couple come and would want to engage into man-woman relationship, is when they, us together, want to, so to speak, mature through a project, joint project together. A little bit of it was before there, like a child is a project, right? It's, so to speak, two souls meet upstairs and they say, which projects would you want to do together? Or there's a platform where all the souls want to come down. Would you want to bring down a soul together with me? Yes. Yeah, so this is a project a woman on her own and a man on his own cannot do. So they reunite together and they bring souls into this world, or just one soul. That's their joint project. But right now, that would be a main source why people unite. They unite in order to bring a certain project together. It could be a business, it could be a creative expression, it could be a child, it could be raising a child, it could be all sorts of things, but it's not anymore between them. It's mostly between a project and a couple. And it is itself, in order to unpack and in order to discuss that requires another hour or so. But we're not going to go into it. I just gave you like a conclusion of what's going on. There is another part in this whole discussion, that man and woman meet in the old setting together in order to play out, besides the fact that they are in search of their inner man and inner woman that we discussed, but also they play out certain imbalances that they accumulated while they were raised with their parents. So if a woman got hurt, for instance, with her mom did not give her enough love, enough understanding, enough acceptance, enough allowing her to be as she is, and it's too painful for a girl to say to her mom, you did it all wrong. I needed more space, I needed more validation, I needed more acceptance, I needed more just singling me out from other, let's say, siblings or other life expressions that you had. Maybe your business was more important to you than me. Maybe your relationship was more important than me. So she takes that baggage and she projects it on her husband. And she now demands from her husband, for instance, I want more acceptance and I want more love, and I don't believe you love me. And she's like challenging him in the most difficult way. So he again and again tells her that he loves her and he accepts her and she's the only one. Like basically those words that she wanted to hear from her mom. But the problem here is that she will not feel satisfied from him saying that, because unless he plays a specific game and he says, I'm going to embody your mom right now for therapeutic purposes, and I'm going to give you that reassurance, that love, that support, that deep understanding, that deep comfort that you didn't have and you were too embarrassed or too uncomfortable or too overwhelmed to ask her. So I'm going to be a mom for next 5 minutes and I'm going to say all those words, and he could hold the space of a husband on the background, and on the front kind of energetically hold the space of mom, but that requires a lot of therapeutic developed skills from a partner to hold the space of a mom for a girl, hold the space for a mom for a man, and to hold the space for a dad. Let's say she like the complaint could be if she comes into a partner relationship and she says to a man, you know, you don't earn enough, you don't make me feel like I'm secure next to you, you even you depend on me, you need me to bring like a means to survival. I don't feel secure next to you. This is all projection of a father. This is, yes, he could be similar as a person. He could hold those so to speak character traits: weak, confused, not in touch with his like business skills or money, ability to bring money. But at the same time, she's playing out certain insecurity that she felt growing up with her dad, or dad had money and withheld from her. She would play that grudge with him. So, and really it has nothing to do with man-woman relationship. It has to do like in that setup, and that comes up a lot in therapy when I deal privately with couples or on individual level, where we basically only healing a mom and only healing a dad, or maybe both, their mutual dynamic with you growing up, like you didn't feel comfortable, or they were too religious, or they were not spiritual enough for you, they were too into materialism and you wanted them to be spiritual. And here a guy comes and he demands that from his wife, etc. So really it's not a relationship. It has nothing to do with relationship yet. They are not there yet. They're just nurturing and healing their inner child. So at this note, I hope it was beneficial, and I'm gonna send this YouTube video when it gets ready to all those that I work with, and I hope to hear back from you that if you have some questions on this video, and maybe I'll record further recordings just to fill in some some confusing points that you did not understand it clearly here. Thank you so much, and we'll be in touch soon.